Hello, bakers. Jose Lopez here, your baker and influencer, and welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. So, what do you think? IBI 2022. It's in the books. Man, I thought it was a great show. I thought it was a great turnout. I think our industry was represented very well. A lot of new equipment, a lot of cool new products, a lot of cool new solutions. So I was really excited about where we're headed in this new world in our industry. Now, the thing that I did have a few conversations with some of the customers, they were coming to me and asking me, Jose, how can I get, stay for my bread or, stay baked good, stay a little softer, stay a little mold free longer, and then with the questions when we were discussing it, it was almost like people forgot about just the basics. The basic science has been with us the whole time. It's nothing new. When I would ask, well, what's your pH? And, the blank stare is like, okay, well, you have to know these things to know how far you want to go with your product and what are you trying to control. So when the conversations were more like, well, help me, Jose, help me understand a little bit more. I said, okay, we talked about pHs and the product and explained to them that, hey, whatever mold inhibitor you're using, it's going to work a lot better under a lower pH. The lower the pH, the more shelf life you're going to have. That's one key attribute that has to be looked at. Well, what should it be, Jose? Well, it depends on your product. But if you're looking like at bread, rolls, you're probably targeting 4.8 to 5.1 finished product pH. That's a solid number that gets you right to probably wherever else you want to do. Now, how do you get that? Well, you're going to have some sort of propionate already in it, or you're going to have a vinegar or cultures or sorbates or even natamycin. You're using some type of mold inhibitor. Now, what is your pH of the product, your finished product? You can help it by adding an acidulate, a citric acid, an MCP, something to lower that pH depending on the conditions of your baked product when it's finished. Boom, you nail that down. Like I said, 4.8, 5.1, 5.2 finished product. Lock that down. Boom, you're there. You're set. You're good to go for that. Now you look at the other one that's a major contributor is finished moisture. What is your finished moisture? Well, you're going to have a moisture meter. You got to make sure that you get one of those. If you don't know what that is, log on to Bakerpedia. They have a great resource there so you can find out on moisture meters. The moisture meter, pretty much just that, records the humidity in moisture in your product. Typical range for bread and rolls, you can probably get to as low as 32, but you definitely never want to get over 38%. So you can have a good pH of 5.1, but your finished moisture is 39 or 40, and your bread's going to mold quicker because there's more free water in there that's going to create the humidity, the moisture, and your mold's going to come. So target pH, lowering your pH first, then your finished moisture, get them all in line. Like I said, pH 4.8 to 5.1, finished moisture 32 or less than 38%. And then we're talking white pan breads, rolls. Sometimes wheat breads would tend to have a little bit higher finished moisture, closer to 40, but we definitely would like to see a little bit lower. Okay. That's going to give you a better shelf life going through there. And then, of course, as you know, or you may not know, your oven is your kill step, right? So up to the oven, everything happens. But then when your oven bakes, yeast kills. It also becomes a kill step calculator for it. So you have to be careful after the oven. What's happening after my oven? How's my plant conditions after the oven? If you have fans blowing, a lot of times fans are stuff that are up in the air. They collect all this. Of course, remember molds everywhere. Molds just floating around with us. So if there's fans going to bring directly on the product, that could be some contamination code. It doesn't matter what your pH is or your finished moisture is. Your bread coolers, roll coolers, how are they being sanitized? Is your area of packaging really close to the returns? Let's say you're getting returns from your supermarket, and I'm talking about large retail products, or even in a small shop. It's your waste bucket has mold in it. Is the product that you're throwing away moldy? If those bags are busted or ruptured, that mold will get up in the air, then it could contaminate your area. So it doesn't really matter what you do on your pH and your finished moisture. And you keep going up on mold inhibitor, that brings up your yeast costs, that brings up everything in there. So again, back to the rules, back to the science, back to the easy part that you can correct. pH, finished moisture, sanitation conditions in your plant. Man, that's going to guarantee you to skyrocket and have the shelf life that you're looking for. Hey, you have any more questions? Come back, give us a shout out here at Bakerpedia, send us an email and any question, and we definitely will get back to you. Thank you.